and actually, I would say a little scary. Actually, there's a few stories today that's a little scary, but this one, I think, should make a lot of people very, very afraid of the power that companies like Visa and MasterCard has. Um, because even in the face of so much bad publicity for Visa and MasterCard, they seem to not give a crap.
Yeah, they still haven't backtracked, but basically people have organized. If you guys haven't been following this, people have organized and they are now mass calling the support services of Visa and MasterCard and asking them about the Steam situation. But they have like strategies and they have scripts that they've shared about like, oh, you need to escalate this to somebody at this high. You need to be on the phone for more than 10 minutes, be polite. So it's like there's all of these strategies that people are coming up with to basically just like slam Visa and MasterCard. And they're breaking apart at the seams. So like apparently over the last couple of days, their customer support service is damn near unusable. And so people will call and there will even be situations where people will go like, okay, so I'm going to call. And they're like, can we call you back? And they're like, yeah, call me back. And then they immediately call again. So it's like they're filling up the callback queues and the queues for calling at the time and trying to get to the people just escalating. It's insane. And to that, I say, fuck them. Okay? Good old Visa and MasterCard is getting they're getting like the whole tutorial on it. Fuck around and find out, right? You came out and you started taking games away from people and people aren't happy about it. That's what you did. So maybe just be a good little payment processor pigs that you are, absolute fucking pigs stealing from people already, okay? Maybe just do that. Focus on stealing from people as efficiently as you can and save us your fucking morals. We don't give a fuck, okay? We don't care what your morals are, Visa and MasterCard, you fucking degenerate bastards. I don't give a fuck.
If your entire job, right, is to run what can only these days be described as credit card scams, right, that get people so indebted that their kids are born in debt, right?
Bro,
like, that's how bad it is.
I guarantee you that like the higher ups over at Visa and MasterCard are jerking their meat to fucking scat porn and they're coming out here like, oh, the morals of these video games. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the actual fuck out of here.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get to preach to people about morals. And to be fair, it's not Visa and MasterCard alone, right? This is also Collective Shout.
Yeah.
That is also part of this and also part of the story. Because Collective Shout is this organization of what we can only describe as a bunch of moms with nothing better to do that is now trying to interfere with everything.
The Aussies need to get their Karens in check, bro. Like, come on,
these
man.
Karens
like,
are
skill up. They're coming from your country, man. What the fuck is going on?
I just want to say, if the Karens are staying local, we can all laugh at the videos on about McDonald's and the meltdowns online.
Yeah.
But Australia, your Karens are going global. This is not okay. Right?
This is a problem. You guys need to rein them back in.
Get that shit under control.
Figure it out. But yeah, so Collective Shout, who is claiming authorship of all of these things that have been happening through Steam and itch.io, they're also going through it a little bit. They've now gone protected on X, and you can no longer. I was actually trying to search for their official account. It doesn't even come up on search anymore. It's just like you have to physically type in the URL to even go there, and then it just says these tweets are now protected.
Of course.
And also, apparently, their Instagram account was suspended. So Instagram suspended their account. I'm assuming this is probably people just mass reporting the account or something like that. And it's like, you take people's entertainment away. And the thing that is important here is, right, it's not just about, despite what people like to say, it's not just about the grape and the brotherly love videos and all of this stuff. It's not just about that. Not to mention that it's like, You can't tell stories with those things, apparently, because that's
the part that gets me, right? So if the only thing that they were going after was like obvious porn games, I would say, yeah, all right, who gives a shit, right? I don't want those games on there either. But
like I said,
you include,
even if that's the case, I still don't agree with it because it's none of their fucking business. Hold up.
I'm not saying that I agree with them, but I'm saying I would be like, okay, whatever, right? The problem is that they're also going after games that simply talk about it. So that would mean Cyberpunk is out, right? Can't have Cyberpunk.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of sexual themes in
they tried.
Baldur's Gate is
they've
out.
already tried to get rid of Detroit Becomes Human in the past.
Yeah. So you're ultimately going to lose access to pretty much every single modern AAA.
Not to mention that Collective Shout specifically talks about the objectification of women. What do you think is going to happen in Witcher 3? How many times do you just get Geralt and go to a brothel and just have sex? Yeah. It's like, well, what do you call that? Absolutely objectification of women, right? So Witcher 3's got to go too. Witcher 1 definitely's got to go.
Yeah, Witcher 1 would be a serious issue.
Witcher 1, like, bro... Has got like I don't know how many people have ever played Witcher 1, but yeah, like
that game
ain't surviving. Okay, like the Karens over at Collective Shout. If the thing is, they don't even know because a lot of these people they just go through whatever is popular, whatever it's popular because whatever gets them the most visibility, so that they can toot their horn and be like, yeah, it was us. Donate to us because they just want more fucking donations. It is what it is, right? It's a fucking and in Portugal we call it's a pot, which just means like you're constantly taking money out of the pot. Right? That's they're just looking for their pot. I guess in English it would be the bag. It's a bag for them. Yeah, basically. It's the bag. That's literally what it is. They're getting the bag.
It's what I would consider, and it's so interesting, right? At the risk of making this a Bible podcast, which I promise I won't do, but Paul, in one of his letters to the church, warns against this. He calls them moral busybodies. Right? And he says, do not be. He speaks specifically to the women. And he says, do not allow the women to become moral busybodies, running around accusing everyone of all sorts of things. Instead, let them be quiet, subject themselves to their men, so on and so forth, right? And what Paul is effectively saying there is, be careful of certain individuals, not just women, but women tend to do this, I think, more often than men because men don't even necessarily realize when something's happening around them. But what happens is these women, because they're bored and they don't know what else to do in Australia. I don't know why Australia doesn't have more hiking trails or something. Like, just go walk a little. Like, I don't understand why you have to. But because they're bored and they don't know what to do, they've now sort of looked for issues. They've just invented a bunch of new issues. And the problem with that is the issues never stop being invented, right? There'll always be something new to worry about, always be something new to complain about. Even as a Christian who doesn't want to see gooning stuff and porn games in gaming, because I don't think it's necessary, my problem has always been, who are the people who decide what gets censored? If you could tell me that it's a bunch of angels, I'd be like, okay, cool, no worries. But since there's no angels here doing this, right? It's going to be humans. And I can't trust these humans to actually be objective and not eventually misuse that power and abuse that power to do stuff that I don't want them to do. Like, for example, wanting to ban Detroit Become Human because of what? Like, just invented perceived slights. And it's insane.
And the Detroit Become Human is also funny because I remember I did a video covering this topic because there were people in media talking about the that specific situation of domestic violence. There's portrayal of domestic violence in Detroit Become Human. It is important to tell those stories.
Yeah,
because it is important.
Detroit Become Human deals with it incredibly well. Very respectful.
Yes. It does, but I do think that it is important to tell some of these stories so that people understand that no, this does happen. Like this because for a lot of people, they live like such blissful lives that they just live in blissful ignorance. They have no idea that domestic abuse is happening to them. The whole thing is even inconceivable. And then when you actually watch it in a piece of media, which by the way is it's like the safest thing that you can do because there's no actual domestic violence happening.
No.
It's better than watching it in the fucking news. And then you actually understand, oh, wow, this is actually really, really fucked up. And this is how something like this might happen. So I think it is important to talk about these stories and not transform them into taboos so that people can understand that this is wrong and this is fucked up and you should never do this. Right. I just feel like watching that type of material sometimes might even trigger like a visceral response where you're just like, holy fucking shit, dude, this is so fucked up. And you might start to recognize warning signs on somebody that is going through that. So it's it is important to tell the stories, but it is what it is.
The thing is, it's important for us to connect to the source material, right?
Yes.
Because it's real. We know it happens. We instinctively understand that this stuff happens. And when you see it, everyone knows, right, that there's a couple of things that just immediately has a visceral reaction for most humans. That's people hurting children, right? That's an immediate, like, I'm in fight mode. And then the other one is domestic abuse, right? Seeing men abuse women specifically can get people really angry very, very quickly, right?
And as
a story, as a vehicle, that's one of the greatest ways to get the hero arc going, right? Because as soon as you have that, and I'm the one that has to avenge this, you've got the hero's journey, let's go, right? You have to make use of this stuff in stories, otherwise you're going to be very limited. But that's the problem with the modern era. We live in an era now where people want to sort of whitewash almost all bad things. Right, like things should never be. You should never show.
Keep it away from me. We can't show it. No, keep it away. Just make people ignorant to it, which is a much better solution. Yeah,
pretend it doesn't happen, and then it will not happen.
It'll go away. Yeah. It's not like that. But anyway, so naturally, this wasn't going to stop.
No.
At the Gooning games and all of that, of course not. So, indie horror game Vile Exhumed is now been banned from Steam by Valve. This is something that was released by someone called Kara Cadaver of Final Girl Games, and it had players rummage through a fictional 90s computer terminal to uncover a twisted man's toxic obsession with adult horror film actress. Using this format to engage with themes of online misogyny and toxic parasocial relationships. This is a Kotaku article that I'm reading from. But basically, if you have ever played this game, you would know that it's all implied, which means there's no actual explicit material in the video game. It's just storytelling, and you're going through this computer terminal, and there's even a bunch of like censored imagery and all of that stuff, so that you're kind of like exploring this whole fictional scenario. But that game has just now got taken out too. So thanks for that, Collective Shout. Since you've claimed responsibility, thank you. We appreciate that. And also, fuck Collective Shout, as well as Visa and MasterCard and everybody responsible for the purge of video games. It is that simple.
Yeah. No,
and by the way, I'll remind you, I'm speaking as somebody that I don't even necessarily want porn games on Steam.
No.
But I don't think that these are the people that should be allowed to dictate what is or isn't in the goddamn platform.
No, for me, it basically boils down to this. It's the same thing with free speech, right? I might not agree with everything that someone is saying, but I will defend their right to say it. It's the same with games.
Yeah.
I might not agree with the games you're playing, but I'll defend your right to play them. As long as I don't break the law, right? Like, if you're going to stop playing like weird games, then sure, we have a problem. But
it's funny because Visa and MasterCard are still saying, well, it's just because it's illegal activity on Steam. And it's like, so wait, people are only doing illicit money laundering through those games specifically. They're only using gooning games. That's it. They don't use any of the other millions of like indie games or other bullshit to do money laundering. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the actual fuck out of here. It's like, yeah, we've solved the problem. These games were the problem, and it's like, what the fuck do you mean? They were just laundering their money with goon games? That's it? Yeah, you can only launder if there's goon, because otherwise there's nothing there to launder. Bro, these people are fucking insane. It's crazy.
I mean, to be fair, I would not fully be surprised. I just need to... I hate running defense for these multinational corporations, but here we are. One of the greatest ways to run illegal money laundering is modern art, right? Because art is subjective. The value of art is
Yeah.
subjective. So what happens is someone paints a completely mediocre painting. Someone else wants to launder some money. And so they buy the painting for, say, $10, sell that painting for millions of dollars, the money that's being laundered, and now they're millions of dollars richer, and the money is legal, right? So art is actually one of the key ways in which it's... And I wouldn't be surprised if games can do the exact same thing. Just make a game on Steam, right? Sell millions of copies of that game to all sorts of ghost accounts and bot accounts, and you've just laundered a crap ton of money, right?
Yeah. But what the hell do gooning games have to do with that? That's the thing.
I think because a lot of the games that's banned, right? Yes, some goon games are legitimate games, but there's also so much AI slop, right? Like, I've seen some games on there where you look at this and you go, well, I don't like this. Looks like someone.
I mean, yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, wouldn't the porn aspect of the game just draw more attention to it?
If they
so it's like you probably just want a game that then, I mean, they're probably laundering money through the fucking banana game or whatever the fuck, because that was like giga popular a while back.
No, I think there's probably a ton of games that they do it through. I told you what I think the real issue is, right? So I'm just speaking about them saying money laundering and that stuff is what they're really going on there. But I've told you before what I think the actual thing is. One of the reasons why OnlyFans and all of these guys are constantly under pressure from Visa and MasterCard is chargeback, refunding. You see, men are very interested in spending money pre-nut clarity.
Post-nut clarity is a bitch.
Yeah. They do actually find that a lot of men will subscribe to a girl on OnlyFans, reach the post-nut clarity phase, and then immediately request a refund because, oh crap, right? What did I do? I never wanted to do this in the first place, right? So just to point that out, it may be the same thing for gooning games, and MasterCard and Visa it costs them money every single time you refund, right? So they don't want you to refund as often. That might be one of it, right? That might be, at least part of it. But we'll keep you guys abreast of any changes to this story. Right now, I know itch.io is suffering as a result of this because, as itch.io have said, they don't have the collective bargaining power that Steam has. And even Steam can't really fight these guys. Right? So itch.io...
And Collective Shout is going like, yeah, fuck that indie platform. Fuck them. Yeah, we did it.
Yeah, so itch.io is trying to work with PayPal as well as Stripe in order to see if they can help them sort of not have to give in to MasterCard and Visa. The issue is that Stripe and PayPal works with MasterCard and Visa. So, you know...
because it's one big club and you're not part of it.
Yep, we're not in it. Yeah, it sucks.
It is what it is.
Yep.
It's a big club and we're not in it.